Welcome, sales team and managers. Probably without a doubt, the best sales team on the planet. We are facing the last month of the second quarter, and this quarter is perhaps the most important quarter in SCI history. And I'm so happy and so grateful that my new friend Mike Jones is going to help guide us through this very important month. Mike is the founder and president of Discover Leadership Training. It's a next level development solutions company in Houston, Texas, right by our home office. Mr. Jones has inspired millions to create a better version of themselves. He uses his gifts and expertise to develop programs where he helps people realize their untapped potential. He is a very well-versed author who's published countless white papers, hundreds of articles, and 6 books. He's an accomplished TV host. You've probably seen him on some of his own NBC segments for nearly a 10-year stint. And he's also a talented radio personality on Clear Channel Radio, again, for over 10 years. Mike began his career when he served 4 years active duty and 2 years reserve duty in the U.S. Coast Guard. Mr. Jones then made the move to make his dream of flying helicopters in the Houston Police Department a reality, where during his 14-year career, he earned the Officer of the Year, not once, not twice, but 4 separate occasions. Mike is committed to being a positive influence in the world, and he remains both active inside and outside of the classroom. He's a passionate runner who has run 10 full marathons, 3 half marathons. He loves to fish, creating new memories with his wife, Susan, and is the proud papa of 5 boys and 1 daughter. Please join us in welcoming Mike Jones to the NAS virtual stage. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Josh, thanks a lot, man. I know how nerve-wracking that can be, but I just got to say it out loud, man. You did an incredible job with that intro. So thank you for getting us started here. Hey, man, I got to say this before I kind of talk to you all a little bit about who I am. And then as we get into this, I don't know if y'all know Jim Barron or Jane Benson, but I'm talking about some smoking hot folks, man. I mean, and Jane, I'm hiring Jane after this is over with, y'all. I'm just gonna put it out there in the universe. I'm going hard. I'm going after her hard, y'all. So, but thank you, Jim and Jane and Josh, for allowing me and Discover Leadership Training to be here at this very important time in your sales process. And I really want to dive in here really deep, but I want to take a moment because there are some of y'all that are familiar with Discover Leadership Training and Mike Jones, and some of y'all who have no point of reference at all. So we have no currency with you or credibility. I know that some of y'all probably went out and Googled us, and you may have noticed that we have 4.9 stars, but you can buy into that, and that's assumptive trust. But I want to develop some authentic trust with you today. So let me just kind of back up just a little bit and put a little icing on that introductory cake real quick. So first of all, I have 4 biological sons, and I like to talk about them because everything that we have ever done at Discover Leadership Training was tested on them as I was raising these 4 boys. So all of the stuff that worked really, really well is the stuff that we apply in our classrooms and in our programs, and the stuff that didn't work really well, you'll never see that stuff because we could go to jail for some of that. But the stuff that worked really well was exactly what we will be presenting to you today as well. My first son's name's Michael, because that's what we guys do. You know, that's my trophy. That's my boy. In case I never have another boy, I got to make sure that I label that one appropriately. So my oldest son's name is Michael. My second son's name is Matthew. And y'all got to clearly understand who Matthew is, because you may have really had an experience like this with a child. He's a little geek in the family, y'all. When Matthew was 2 or 3 years old, and those of y'all that have small children, you know that when they get quiet, you better go find their little behind, because they're probably into something that you don't want them into. But when Matthew got quiet, y'all, I'm telling you, he was weird little dude. We never went looking for him because he was somewhere reading a book, y'all. I mean, just weird little dude. My third son's name is Christian. Christian's a big old 6'7" dude, very gentle spirit, very quiet, lovable guy, and he's very kinesthetic. And what I mean by that, any pictures that you see of me and my boys, Christian is going to be the one that's always skin on skin. He's always in my space, just loves to be right next to me. My fourth son's name is Jeremy, and he's in from Japan this week, so he's going to hear this probably for about the 10th time. He's my youngest, and I'm telling y'all, I just started liking Jeremy last year. And those of y'all that have children that are really like you already know what I'm talking about. He's the one that's the most like me, and I'm telling you, I just started liking him last year, y'all. So I really want to really set this up so that we are crystal clear about what we're focused on during this little time that I have with you. Man, I wish I had so much more time with y'all. I've had so many opportunities to do some work with folks from SCI, and we've had some really good successes over the many years that we've worked with y'all. And it's just really good to be back up in the house with y'all again, focused on some positive outcomes. But I want to say this out loud. It is going to be critically important during this little time that I have with you that you are listening with the intent to be influenced. Quite often we listen with the intent to defend what we already know or what we already believe the truth is. And at the end of the day, we are focused on making somebody else wrong so we get to be right. In the context of this conversation, I don't care how much paper you got on the wall from the university. I don't care how long you've been doing what you've been doing. I don't care how long you are in the tooth or what your age is. There is an opportunity for you to become aware today that every last one of us occupies the largest room in the house, and that is the room for improvement. So if you are willing to listen with the intent to be influenced, I am going to make you a promise that you are going to benefit from this short period of time that we have together significantly. And I just said that out loud. So what I'm absolutely asking you to do for the next few moments is play like a rookie, baby. Rookies are hungry. Rookies are looking for more opportunities to learn and to grow because they know that they're going to get more playing time as a result of doing so. Veterans are complacent, y'all. They're on the sidelines giving commentary to everybody in the game on how they can do things better. However, the veteran is not open to learning and growing. They think or feel like they got it all figured out. Hey, I got some news for you today, baby. If you play like a rookie today, I am promising you, man, I love making promises because that's how you develop authentic relationships. I love making promises. I am promising you that if you play like a rookie today for this short period of time that we're going to be together, if you listen with the intent to be influenced, there is a great opportunity that you are going to become aware of something that you may have been unaware of. And the awareness that you will make in the next few moments has the potential of allowing you to best your best, taking you to the next level, being more productive than you've been in your life. That is the promise that I'm making you, baby. And I love making promises. So what I want to do now is I want to kind of jump into this and kind of talk about where we're going. But let me set this up real quickly. There are likely hundreds of y'all on this call. So I only have about 40 minutes with y'all. So I cannot benefit hundreds of y'all in this short period of time. So I just want to kind of chisel this down to a micro approach. And in this micro approach, I'm only speaking to one person today, and that's you. I mean, this is me and you, mano a mano, one-on-one. and I'm gonna come straight at you, baby, because ain't nobody got time to be beating around the bush. Because as far as we know, this ain't no dress rehearsal, y'all. This is the only opportunity that we're going to get to play full out and to go for the things that we want. So this is mano a mano. I don't care how many people are in the room where you are right now. I'm talking specifically to you over the course of the next 40 minutes or so, however much time Jane's going to give me with y'all. Because I know she's going to have to cut me off at some point. I get it. But let's jump in here. And again, this is me and you. I'm not talking to anybody else in the room with you or anybody else on this call. This is 100% me and you. So let's jump in here real quickly. That first slide says that you got to change your mind to change your world. In fact, that is actually the title of one of the books that I wrote many, many years ago. And here is the awareness. The mind that got you to the successes that you had in May will not get you to greater successes in June. Did you hear what I said? Let me say it again. The same mind that got you to the successes that you had in May will not get you to greater successes in June. You have got to change your mind to change your world. You are going to have to change your mind to change your results. And in the context of where we're going today, I am going to offer you some opportunities of awareness that will allow you to make June the best that you have ever done. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after. So I want to set a very specific outcome. Everything that we do at Discover Leadership Training has a very specific outcome. So I wrote it down. So let me make sure that I get it to you correctly. And I want you to write it down, because when I'm done here, I want you to hold me accountable, if you are listening with the intent to be influenced, to delivering on this outcome in this short period of time. So here's my outcome. My outcome for you is to help you realize potential that you are presently not utilizing. Let me say it again in case somebody wants to write it down, Maria. My outcome for all of you, but I'm talking specifically to you right now, is to help you realize potential that you are presently not utilizing. That's where I'm going. So we're going to jump into this next slide real quickly, and let's just kind of talk about it. The question on the floor is, what are you committed to do to create an even better version of yourself? Now, I have to go here because I'm a human behavior expert and I know how people think. This does not submit that there's anything wrong, anything broken, or that anything needs to be fixed. There is an opportunity for us to be even better than we are right now if we're not comparing ourselves to other people. Remember I said that, I want to come back to that. When we're not comparing ourselves to external things, there is the potential for us to best our best. No comparison to anybody else. But I want to take a commercial break real quickly. So remember where I was there, because I got to say this out loud. I grew up down south here in Houston, Texas. And those of y'all that live in the South, y'all know that growing up as a kid, we spent a lot of time in church, y'all. We spent a lot of time in church. I was in church a lot. And growing up as a little boy, I was taught that there were good words and that there were bad words. Was anybody else taught that? Amen. Yeah, I hear you, Linda. I was taught that there were good words and that there were bad words. As a human behavior expert, this is what I know to be true. Words are not bad. People use words in bad ways. So let me say that again, because I know somebody needs to hear that. Words, Mary, are not bad. People use words in bad ways. So let me say this out loud. I have learned as a human behavior expert that the most powerful word in the English language as it relates to personal growth and personal development is the word shit, y'all. The most powerful word is the word shit. So let me tell you why now before you tune me out. Every last one of you have experienced some good shit in your life, and every last one of you have experienced some bad shit. Unfortunately, we embrace and hold on to and remember all of the bad shit, and we forget about all of the good shit. So I need to make sure that you can see the value here. Everything in this universe creates a likeness of itself. If you plant a tomato seed, you are not going to get a cucumber, y'all. You're going to get a tomato. In other words, whatever goes in is going to produce a likeness of itself. So if you truly understand that, here is what I want you to do. I want you to become aware that if you're holding on to the bad shit, it's going to produce more bad shit. So I would encourage you to let that shit go and embrace all of the good shit that is happening in your life and build upon the good shit and not the bad shit. The bad shit is never going to benefit you. And I got to say this out loud while I'm there before I move on. Some of y'all have experienced a bad 5 minutes in your life, and you milked that bad 5 minutes all day long, and you called it a bad day. I want to offer you something that if there was another human behavior expert anywhere in the room, they would be pissed off at me for giving you this. But I want to offer you this because it is the sine qua non of personal growth and personal development. It is the magic grail. When you truly get and understand what I'm about to offer you, you will never need therapy again, y'all. I hope you heard what I said, Sean. You will never need therapy again if you get this. And I hope you got a pen and a piece of paper to write this down. If you don't, go to the notes in your phone because I want you to write this down. This is the sine qua non, the magic grail of personal growth and personal development. When you truly understand and embrace this, you will never need therapy again. And most people can remember this, but I want you to write it down. In fact, I'm going to actually spell it for you. So here we go. First word. And if you can type it in the chat so I'll know that you're hearing me, type it in the chat. First word. S-T-O-P. Second word. Magic grail, baby. I mean, the sine qua non of personal growth and personal growth. Second word, I-T. What? That's it, y'all. That's it. It's the magic grail. And I know that may not make sense right now, but as we get into this presentation, that's going to likely make some sense to you, and you're going to truly understand the value of it. So again, the same mind that got you to the successes that you had in May, baby, will not get you to greater successes in June. So the first thing I'm going to want you to do, so I really want you to embrace this idea as we kind of build upon these points. Remember, I'm just talking to you right now, just to you. I want you to recognize that when you are in a group of people, you are using what I want to refer to as an external barometer. You are judging how well you are doing in every aspect of your life, your self-confidence, your sales, your personality. You're judging everything about you based on an external barometer, based on how other people are showing up, whether they're introverted or extroverted, whether or not they're handsome or they're beautiful, whatever those assessments are that we're making, you are judging yourself based upon an external barometer. As a result of that, we ultimately end up playing to the people that we're comparing ourselves to rather than playing the best that we can best or creating the best version of ourselves. So here's what I want you to do. So use this as a practice ground. Just play with it just for the next few moments as we're doing this. I want you to take your barometer and place it internally. I want you to judge the best that you have ever done based upon the best that you have ever done. And then our focus moving forward is going to be to best your best in some of those areas, which are going to allow you to create an even better version of yourself. So here's what I want you to do. And to thine own self, be true. I want you to write down one thing that if you had it or you had more of it, would allow you to make June the best month of your life. Don't do anything yet. Walk with me now. It may be more self-confidence. It may be more patience. It may be being more bold. It may be being more empathetic. It may be more enthusiastic. And whatever that thing is, I want you just one thing. It could be 100 for some of y'all, but I just want to focus on one thing, that if you did it or you had it or you had more of it, it would allow you to create an even better version of yourself. And if you don't mind putting it in the chat, I would like to see some of those things. But to thine own self, be true. Vulnerability is not synonymous with weakness, y'all. But you're going to have to put yourself out there if you really want to learn and to grow. Because I absolutely guarantee you that vulnerability is not synonymous with somebody caught my eye. Somebody said time in the day. Doug, you ain't got no control over that. I'm talking about something that you have 100% control over. Dig deep, baby. I'm talking about looking within you to talk about something that you control, 100% control, that if you had it or you had more of it, it would allow you to create a better version of yourself. More time is not going to allow you to create a better version of yourself, because with the mind that you're working with right now, it's going to allow you to keep using that time in the same way that you were using it before time increased. So that's not a part of what we're looking for. We want to go a little deeper here. This is personal, y'all. This is about you as an individual. Thank y'all, Charles. Patience, a different mindset. Absolutely. Those are things that you control that are going to allow you to create a better version of yourself. And I want y'all to understand something. I don't have a magic wand. We don't have magic wands at Discover Leadership Training. So you have got to understand that this is going to require you to do some work in order to obtain a more positive attitude, a more discipline. And we're going to talk about how to do that. But you got to understand that this is work that has to be done. So I'm going to say small steps, and wherever you are, I want you to say small wins. So small steps, you say, once again, small steps. Yeah, so through taking small steps to get to that thing that you just typed in, that is going to allow you to create sustainable change. This is not an event, y'all, like this thing that we're doing today. This is going to require you, through taking small steps and getting small wins, in order for you to obtain that thing that you just put in the chat. So I want to take a deep dive on that, but I at least want us to understand where we're going and the value of going there. So let me say this out loud now. Again, I'm asking you to listen with the intent to be influenced. If you crack an egg from the outside, life ends. Let me say that again, y'all, because I really want you to get this. If you crack an egg from the outside, life ends. When you crack the egg from the inside, life begins. Personal growth is an inside job, y'all. There is nothing outside of you that you are comparing yourself to that is going to allow you to get to a different positive mindset, or more patience, or a more positive attitude. This is an inside job. So you've got to go to work, taking some small steps and getting some small wins in order for you to be able to increase in that area or obtain in that area. So let's take some small steps here and absolutely see if we can get to a next level. The one thing that I want to say before we move on here is that I know that some of y'all, as soon as y'all heard that Mike Jones was going to be here, the first thing that you said was, who? Mike Jones. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Mike Jones. So this is what I want to do, because I'm just talking to you, me and you, just me and you here. I'm going to do what Mike Jones did many years ago during that rap song. I'm going to give you my phone number because it's just me and you. What I want to know when we're done here, if you have some additional questions beyond the Q&A that we're going to do here, you have my permission to send me a text or call me and we will talk about it. So here's my number, 832-489-2936. 832-489-2936. So why am I giving you my phone number? Let me be clear about it. I am absolutely on your team. And whatever you need in order to be more successful, Discover Leadership Training and Mike Jones, we're here and we're all in on that. Because individuals who are willing to get out of their comfort zones and absolutely say, help, are individuals that are really ready, willing, and able to get to a next level. So let's talk about what that next level looks like. There was a guy by the name of Will Rogers who said that the sweetest fruit available to us is out there on those skinny branches. However, it requires us to take a risk to get that sweet fruit. There are most people that are down low picking all that low-hanging fruit because it's easy, because it's comfortable, because it is absolutely more available to them than getting off and going out on that skinny branch. It requires you to take a risk to get out on that skinny branch to go for that sweet fruit, y'all. And when you take a risk, there is always the potential that you could fail. Here's what I want you to know, baby. I need you to hear me right now. I hope you can hear me. If you are going to play at this level, failure must be an option because you are going to fall down. The awareness in this present moment is winners lose more often than losers lose. So if you happen to fall down, get up, dust yourself off, get back into the game, and go for it again. But now that you have that absolute mindset of playing at that level, you have got to be aware that failure must be an option. So what I want you to realize that on average, the average human being will only experience 10% of the potential that is available to them in their lifetime. So we can go back to talk about why. It's because we are comparing ourselves to things and people outside of us. So we are playing to the best of that person. We're not playing to what's available to us in the universe. And we feel that as long as we are keeping up with the most self-confident person in our circle, that we're doing pretty good. We are the most self-confident person in our environment. We feel pretty good about ourselves. But I want you to know that as long as that barometer is an external barometer, you are going to be underliving your potential. So our focus, our commitment is to take the barometer and place the barometer inside, understanding that personal growth is an inside job, that we want to crack that egg from the inside and do this work from the inside out. When we are done here today, y'all, my promise is I've already made it. My commitment is to make sure that you are more aware of potential that is available to you to create an even better version of yourself. But we've got to take that barometer and place that barometer internally. So I got to say this out loud, y'all, especially because of the business that y'all are in too. And I know that y'all have heard this many times, probably many times when you have talked to people or you've experienced people, you've heard people say, YOLO, you only live once. Well, let me start doing some paradigm busting, y'all, because I do not believe YOLO. So stick with me for a second now. What I believe is YODO, YODO. You only die once. I know y'all can get with me on that one because of what y'all do. You have an opportunity 86,400 seconds of every day to live, to go for the sweet fruit, to be passionate and enthusiastic about the things that you are doing and the way that you are doing those things. But you will only die one time. You have an opportunity, 86,400 seconds of every day, to live your life on purpose, going for that sweet fruit. It's risky, baby. It is. But it is absolutely worth going for because you are worth it. Absolutely worth it. And with that in mind, I got to say this out loud. I believe that one of the greatest gifts that every last one of us has, Linda Payne, every last one of us has one of the greatest gifts in the world. And I believe that that is the gift of choice, Tom. We can choose to believe anything that we want. So if y'all believe that, just type yes into the thing. I want to know that you're picking up what I'm putting down. I said that one of the greatest gifts that every last one of us has is the gift of choice. You can choose to believe anything that you want to believe. Are you with me on that? Yes or no? Okay, so I see a whole lot of yeses. So Rob Grossman, if that is true, I want to go one step further. Since you can choose to believe anything that you want, why not choose to believe in yourself? Because there is a better version of you right now that can make June the absolute best month of your life. Not just at SCI, but at home as well. In the partner that you are, in the friend that you are, in the mom and the dad that you are, in the sales associate that you are, in the sales manager that you are. Whatever the case may be, there is an opportunity when you are willing to change your mind, you will change your world, because your mindset is every bit of the difference between your successes and your failures. So I want to talk about that just for a minute as we're talking about potential. 86,400 seconds of every day. One of the greatest gifts that I have is the gift of choice. The other awareness in this present moment is in all 86,400 seconds in the day, both positive and negative exist in every one of those moments. So let me tell y'all why I know. But if y'all don't mind if I geek out just a little bit, I just want to throw a little science in here real quick. I hope that that's okay. What science used to believe is that positive and negative were polar opposites. What they know now in the context of this conversation is that they are not polar opposites, they are one. Let me tell you why. One of them cannot exist without the other. When you see something positive, you are comparing it to something that is negative. When you assess something as negative, you are comparing it to something that is positive. So 86,400 seconds of every day, both positive and negative exist. Now, okay, Burl, this is about to get kind of touchy here, so stick with me now. And all I'm asking that you do is listen with the intent to be influenced. Whenever something positive occurs and I assess it as positive, I'm absolutely comparing it to something that is negative. When something occurs in my environment, a circumstance happens, I assess that as negative. It's because I'm comparing it to something that is positive. So both of them exist at the exact same time, 86,400 seconds of every day. So here's a question that I may ask, and some of y'all may get off after I ask this, but Virginia, I just want y'all to see some truth here. Just one of the greatest gifts that I have is the gift of choice. I can choose to believe anything that I want. And I now am aware that both positive and negative exist 86,400 seconds of every day. My question to you, I'm talking to you, babies. It's just me and you, mano y mano. Why would you ever choose negative? Because you got to understand, it's not choosing you. Every last one of us are going to experience some circumstances. A circumstance is a circumstance is a circumstance. Our assessment of the circumstance creates our reality. Some of us can experience the exact same circumstance at the exact same time, and we will make a different assessment of the exact same thing. And some of us will get a positive from it, and some of us will get a negative from it. Again, you don't control many of the circumstances that are going to occur in your life at SCI or at home. However, you will always be 100% in control of the choices that you are making regarding the circumstance. So I would encourage you, as you now wipe the smoke off the mirror and absolutely take a look at that beautiful, worthy person that is looking back at you, that you also understand that if you see something as negative, there is a positive that exists at the exact same moment. Go to work and start looking for it. Start seeking it out. The more and more you play the game that way and you have that mindset, you are going to discover that there are positives existing in an exact same moment that you may be assessing something as negative. I had to get that in, y'all. And I truly hope that somebody benefited from that, as you are now focused on, committed to creating an even better version of yourself by understanding that there's about 90% for most of you that you're leaving on the table as it relates to the potential that's available to you. My absolute coaching to you as we dive a little deeper is to absolutely go for that sweet fruit. Get out on a skinny branch. It's absolutely scary. It's absolutely risky. It is. However, the absolute better version of you is out there on that skinny branch. So let's talk about how we got where we are right now. And I don't care how old you are, how much paper you got on the wall from the university. This is going to be true for you. So every last one of us, y'all, has a comfort zone, certain patterns of thinking, certain ways of doing things. And it becomes so comfortable for us to do things that way that even when we know of a better way, we find ourselves stuck in our comfort zone. Our comfort zone is not a hardwire. We did not come into the world predisposed to be the person that we are right now. That person was created by performing behaviors and mindsets over and over and over again repetitiously, which allowed you to create the person that is sitting here having this conversation with me right now. That person did not come predisposed into the world as a hardwire that is who you're going to be. You created that person through repetitious behavior. Give me 1 second to just geek out, just one more second, y'all. 45% of the lens that you are viewing the world through, 45% of the map that you are navigating yourself through, every relationship in every situation that you are experiencing, 45% of the you that exists right now was created by the time you were 4 years old. These are the things that you learn repetitiously over and over and over again from the people who raised you. These are the things that you observed in the environment, how they handled situations, how they handled conflict, how they handled money, how they dealt with each other, and how they felt about other people, their communication. Those are the things that shape the map that you presently have. Those are the things that shape the lens that you are viewing the world through. 45% of that lens was in place by the time you were 4 years old. Over 99% of that lens and map were created by the time you were 18 years old. So how you got to be that person is based upon practice, repetitious behaviors over and over again. I need you to buy this from me because I'm going somewhere. This is not who you are. This is who you have chosen to be. You got to get that. This is not who you are. That comfort zone is not who you are. It is who you have chosen to be again and again and again. So how can we create an even better version of ourselves, recognizing that there's nothing wrong, there's nothing broken, and nothing needs to be fixed? We are simply looking for ways to polish up our rough edges and become far more effective at the things that we're doing. We're looking to absolutely change our perspective and understand that there are different perspectives than the one that I have, than others have. And it is not necessary. Wait a minute, y'all. Something's about to happen here. I need you to get this. And again, I'm asking you to listen with the intent to be influenced. So I sure hope you can hear me right now. It is not necessary for me to make other people wrong in order for me to be right. There are very few facts in the world, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. So if I am treating my interpretations and perceptions as facts, that is going to create conflict in my relationships. And I want to talk about that again later, but it just came up for me, so it came out. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to see the value of moving out into the uncomfortable zone. The absolute best leaders on the planet are those individuals who become more comfortable with being uncomfortable. When you're in that comfort zone, y'all, your eyes are closed, the lights are out, you're on autopilot. You are just doing the things that you have done repetitiously over and over and over again because they're comfortable. When you get out of that comfort zone, what you realize is that in that comfort zone, there are no new possibilities to create a better version of yourself. When you're stuck in that comfort zone, the untapped potential that you're experiencing now will be the experience that you will have for the rest of your life if you live in that comfort zone. I got to say this out loud again because of what y'all do. When you're in that comfort zone, you are just existing, waiting to die. So getting outside of that comfort zone creates some brand new possibilities, y'all. When you're out of that comfort zone, the lights are on, your eyes are wide open. You are absolutely realizing brand new opportunities and potential. Yeah, you got sweaty palms and you feel a little anxious, but that is absolutely the feeling that you want to embrace for the rest of your life because it allows you to know that you are living, that you are in the game, that you are playing full out. And the awareness in this present moment, y'all, is the only way to affect the score on the scoreboard is you got to get in the game. You cannot do it on the sidelines. You got to be willing to go all in as it relates to creating a better version of yourself, getting to your next level, besting your best, and absolutely going for that sweet fruit. You got to be willing to get out of that comfort zone. When you get out of that comfort zone, you are creating new possibilities. Now, let's talk about this for a moment. There have been things that have occurred in your life that pushed you outside of your comfort zone. Absolutely, they did. And as soon as that happened, you did everything within your power to restore calm and normal and get things back to the way that you're comfortable with those things. Every time you've done that, you did not truly benefit from the opportunity to be out of your comfort zone. So what we're going to do now, I want you to write this word down. It's the most important word in the context of what we do every day. The word is deliberate. So write that down. I mean, in order for you to be better in June than you were in May, you're going to have to be deliberate. So let's talk about that. When I am deliberately choosing to push myself out of my comfort zone, not waiting for a circumstance, not waiting for a manager, not waiting for my significant other, but when I am absolutely committed to pushing myself deliberately out of that comfort zone, I need to be focused on a specific outcome. Okay, got to write that down, y'all. Most important, deliberate and outcome. Two hugely important words for you. And so I need you to connect deliberate and outcome. If I am deliberately pushing myself out of my comfort zone, going for that sweet fruit, taking the risk to get out on that skinny branch. I don't know if that means more sales for you, if that means more passion in your relationships, a better relationship with your significant other, more healthy children, a more healthier you, whatever that is. When I am deliberately setting an outcome and I'm deliberately pushing myself out of that comfort zone, then I can become comfortable with being uncomfortable. comfortable. So I want to give you an absolute feeling of what I mean by weird. Because when you get out of your comfort zone, weird shows up. You feel weird. And I want to give you an example of what that feels like. So I just need everybody to do this with me real quick. And I can't see you, so you just got to make a commitment to participate here. I want everybody to just cross your arms for me real quick. And I want you to recognize which one of those are on top. Is it the left or is it the right? So for every last one of you, you may have a story as it relates to why that one is on top. But let me just kill the story for you real quick. The reason why you just went where you went is because that is what you have done repetitiously over and over and over again, and it's comfortable. You unconsciously go there. You don't even have to think about it, and it feels comfortable to you. So I want you to experience what it feels like to be out of your comfort zone, experience weird. I want you to put the other one on top. For some of y'all, you may need some help with that. Put the other one on top. Now, I'm going to submit that probably feels weird. But when this normally happens to you, when this weird shows up, you do everything that you can to restore calm and normal. What I'm telling you right now, me and you talking, baby, mano a mano, I want you to embrace that weird feeling, because that's when you're out of that comfort zone, and that's when there is a new possibility for something brand new to occur for you. But you have got to be willing to be okay with being comfortable with being uncomfortable. The more comfortable you become with uncomfortable, the greater success you're going to have. Somebody needs to hear me today. The more you become comfortable with being uncomfortable, the greater success that you're going to have. This will be the best June that you ever had if you make the choice to get out of that comfort zone, recognizing that failure's got to be an option. Falling down, getting up, dust yourself off, get back into the game, go for it again, because it's never going to be over until you say it's over. Never going to be over until you say it's over. So if the approach that you are using is not working, here's what I want you to do. Change the approach, because quitting should never be an option. Absolutely. Failure's got to be an option, but quitting should never be an option. If the approach that I'm using is not working, change the approach. Every time I change the approach, I will change the results. I have a different evaluation point. I'm on a different trajectory, but I got to keep focused on the outcome, whatever my outcome is, whether it's a personal outcome, whether it's a financial outcome, whether it is a health outcome, whether it's a relational outcome. As long as I remain focused on my outcome, I can continually change my approach, focused on that outcome, until I realize the success and the benefits of doing so. So when you experience that weird, I'm encouraging you to embrace it. Yeah, don't do everything to restore calm or normal, because you're not going to grow if you're playing the game that way. You're not going to get to a next level. So I want you to recognize that in your comfort zone, that is a fixed, F-I-X-E-D, fixed mindset. It means that there are no new potentials there. It means that you're comfortable. You're doing things the same old way that you always have. It's a fixed mindset. You see things the exact same way through the comfort zone lens. When you're in the uncomfortable zone, you are in a growth mindset. You are absolutely looking for new possibilities. You're changing your perspective, realizing that your initial perspective is not the only perspective that's available to you, but that there are other perspectives, and that you're not listening to people with the intent to defend your perspective of what you already believe the truth is, but you are open to new possibilities to increase your periphery, to increase your awarenesses, to increase your opportunities to learn and to grow. So if you find that you've been stuck in that comfort zone, I got some great coaching for you, y'all, that's going to change everything. Stop it. Absolutely stop it. If you find that being in that comfort zone, that you listen with the intent to defend, I got some great coaching for you that's going to benefit you. If you want to get better, get to a next level, here's my coaching to you. Stop it. If you find yourself focused on proving other people wrong or making them wrong so you can be right, I got some great coaching for you that's going to change everything. Stop it. So you don't need to go take a class to learn how to do that. You don't need any form of academia at all. You can make the choice today as you are making the choice to get out of your comfort zone, to move into the uncomfortable zone, the growth zone, and absolutely realize greater successes that by doing so. So I'm not going to ever do anything but tell you the truth. So let me speak some truth to you right quick. When you get out in that uncomfortable zone, it's also the experience is going to be some chaos. You're going to experience some chaos out there because it's out of your comfort zone. It's weird. It's going to seem chaotic. What I want you to be aware of is that prior to deliberately getting out there, you were experiencing that chaos and you survived the chaos and got back into that comfort zone. Now that we're deliberately making the choice to get out of the comfort zone into the uncomfortable zone, and we're doing it deliberately, focused on a specific outcome, then our focus now is to thrive in the chaos. So we're no longer focused on survival and getting back in there and restoring calm and normal. We're now going to embrace the chaos. We're going to thrive in the chaos that is created as a result of us getting out of our comfort zone. So I'm encouraging you, whatever you need to do to get out of that comfort zone, the most successful that you're going to be is if you can make that outcome specific. The more specific it is, the absolute sweeter the fruit is going to be once you get out on that skinny branch. So if that outcome has to do with your sales, be very specific about what you're going to increase that to, what you're going to be focused on. If that outcome happens to be the relationship with your significant other. So rather than just saying, I'm going to be more supportive, be specific about how you're going to be more supportive and let being supportive be the end game that somebody else is saying about you based on what you are specifically doing to be more supportive or more loving or more kind or more patient, whatever that's about for you. It's important to be as specific as possible about your outcome as you get out of that comfort zone. And I got to say this again, y'all, the same mind that allows you to get to whatever successes that you experienced in May are not going to allow you to be more successful in June. If you stay in the same mindset, you're going to do the exact same as you did in the previous month. So whatever that's about for you, find a way to best your best. Go to your next level with no comparison to anybody else. The barometer is internal, and I am going to best my best and get to my next level. I hope all y'all tracking with me. And tracking means, do you understand? I hope that everybody's tracking with me. So here we go. If you are allowing the circumstances that are occurring in your life to provide the push for you in any aspect of your life, then life is happening to you. Let me say that again, because this just came up for me. So let me see if I can filter through it as I talk through it with you. If you are allowing the circumstances in your life to provide the push for you, the motivation, then life is happening to you. When you are now asking the question, WTO, and that means what's the outcome? If I know my outcome, I know where I'm going. If I am allowing the outcome to provide the push for me, then I am on purpose. I am making life happen because of me. It's a completely different game, y'all. And I truly hope that you can see and embrace the difference. The circumstance providing the push, then I'm absolutely allowing life to happen to me. If I am purposefully providing the push, focus on an outcome, then I am absolutely providing the push very purposefully based on my outcome. Life is happening because of me. I would encourage you to let that marinate for a little bit and understand the value of it. So let me transition just a little bit here first. Wait a minute, 1 second. Because of us living in our comfort zone and having the lens that we view the world through and the map that we navigate our lives through, the first awareness has to be that your map is not the whole territory. It's just your map. There are other people in your life at SCI and at home, at church, and in the community that have their own maps. They have their own perspectives of what's going on. However, if I am managing those relationships, whether I'm talking to a client or I'm talking to a coworker or I'm talking to a family member, if I'm managing those relationships from my map, then I'm absolutely not showing the awareness that my map's not the whole territory. I am managing those relationships based on my expectations on my map. If you know that you've been doing that, as we get into this, y'all, I got some great coaching for you that's going to change everything. I hope you can hear me. Stop it. So let's talk about the value of that. If you only manage based upon your map and your comfort zone, you are absolutely creating conflict in the relationship. Let's talk about that. So here we go. So there are two types of listenings that I want you to connect to real quickly. We're going to do some experiential stuff so you can see yourself in the context of this awareness and this learning. The first listening that we're going to talk about is what I refer to as reactive listening. Reactive listening is what I am doing if I am living in my comfort zone, Linda. Nicole, if I am living in my comfort zone, then I am reactively listening. I am listening through my lens and through my filter. If I am listening through my lens and my filter, I am listening with the intent to defend what I already see or believe the truth to be. Every time I do that, there is going to be somebody in my life that has a different perspective of the exact same thing that I am defending, and they are going to defend what they see. That's where the conflict comes from, y'all. I hope you can see that for yourself. So I want to get out of my comfort zone. I want to get out of reactive listening and move to what I refer to as responsive listening. The definition of responsive listening is being present and in the moment. It is so different, y'all. And I hope that you can see it as we get into a couple of these little exercises. Responsive listening is being present and in the moment, which means that I have turned my lens off. I've turned my map off. I am being present with this person, and I will take the time to listen with the intent to be influenced. So this is the way the communicative process is working for you right now. Remember, it's just me and you, baby. So somebody begins talking to you. In the moment that they begin talking to you, you are in responsive listening. Once you receive a stimulus in the conversation, this stimulus comes from historical data that is stored in your subconscious based upon what you've learned or what you've experienced in your life. As soon as you receive that stimulus in the conversation, you formulate an answer and your listening shuts down. All you hear from that point forward is background noise, blah, 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 blah. You cannot wait for them to shut up so you can give them the answer that you formed back at the stimulus. When you do that, that is referred to as reactive listening. That's when we know that we are listening with the intent to defend. But when we are responsibly listening, we are listening with the intent to be influenced, and we are open to new possibilities because we have a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. So I want to do a couple of experiential things with y'all here. So I want you to be in the moment. And I think this first one is it the image? Okay. Oh, okay. So let me do this first. I want to I want to talk about. I want to kind of go back and talk about your personal map. Because I said that you have a map that your map's not the whole territory, and I want to see if I can identify real quickly before I take y'all to this. God, I only got a little time left too, right? Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit too, y'all. I want to see if I can help you identify your map. I know that at SCI, y'all probably have done some personality profiles, but I want to run through this one really quickly, Samuel. So, Lori, I want y'all to be able to see your map. And once we've identified all 4 of these real quickly, I want you to put, Dorothy, in your chat whether or not you feel like you're a D, a I, a S, or a C. So let me run through them real quickly, and we're going to identify. So you are a blend of all 4 of these personality styles. However, one of them is going to be more like you than the other 3. I want you to identify the one that is the most like you. And please listen with the intent to be influenced, because I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. The first one I want to talk about is D. If you are a D, it means that you like to be in charge. You like challenges. You're a fast-paced person. You only want the bottom line. You are somebody who is great in a crisis situation because you will make a decision very quickly. However, other people in the environment may not agree with you. But if you're a high D personality, you don't care because you have a mentality, my way or the highway. These are those individuals that if there's not a challenge in the environment, they're going to go create one. They have a mentality, if it ain't broke, break it. So Ds make up 10% of the world population. And when most Ds hear that or read it, they say, see, I told you I was special. But one thing that you got to know about a high D is that 90% of the time, they have to learn how to meet other people where they are. And they usually don't do that really well. So if that sounds more like you, in a moment, I'm going to have you type that into D into the chat. The second one is influencing. It's the I personality. I's are those individuals who are also fast-paced, much like D's. What they don't have in common with the D is their orientation. I's are people-oriented. They're everybody's best friend. They're generally very friendly, very talkative. They're generally very extroverted kind of folks. They like to work in groups. They like to be around people. They generally want everybody else to like them. So they generally say yes to everything. So sometimes they'll get overwhelmed with all of the yeses that they put out there. And I's are those individuals who, if there's a spotlight somewhere, they're under the spotlight. They like to be the life of the party. So I's make up 15% of the world population, which means 85% of the time, they have to learn how to meet other people where they are, and they really don't have a problem with that at all. They do it really, really well. The third one that we want to talk about is steady. That's the S personality. S's are those individuals that are more slow, a moderate pace people. They do not like a lot of change going on. S's are those individuals who are generally very patient people. They like to be in trusting environments and trusting relationships. They generally are rule followers. They like to follow the rules. One thing you got to know about an S personality is they will generally take better care of other people than they do themselves because they're always looking out for other people as well. So they make up 60%, y'all, 60% of the world population. And the last one I want to talk about really quickly is conscientious. That is the C personality. C personalities are people who are very analytical. They're very factual driven. They like to weigh the pros and the cons. They're generally kind of critical people. They're perfectionistic. They like data. If you want to make someone with a C personality happy, you need to give them some data that supports the data, that supports the data, that supports the data. And you'll make them really, really happy. They love the numbers, y'all. They make up 15% of the world population. So whichever one of those you feel is most like you, please type it in the chat real quickly because I want y'all to see that everybody's not like you. There are people with different comfort zones because whichever one that you believe is most like you, that's your comfort zone. That's your perspective of the world and everything that's going on in the world, Arnold. And you just got to know that that's your map. And your map's not the whole territory. There are other people who have different perspectives of the exact same thing that you are looking at. And I want to give y'all one quick example, Priscilla. Here are all 4 personality styles approaching the exact same thing. This is what y'all got to get. There is no right or wrong in the context of this. It's just what is. They have a right to their perspective, just like you have a right to yours. You don't need to make them wrong for you to be right. So here is a D. So all 4 of them approaching the exact same thing. Here's a D walking up to the elevator. The D pushes the elevator button, Pamela, 1 time. Well, clearly this elevator is running slow, so the D pushes the button again and again and again and again. They think that by pushing the button again and again and again, Sally, that the elevator is going to come faster. Well, the elevator finally shows up. The D gets on board. They see somebody running later than they are, running down the corridor. The D reaches over and pushes closed door. Fast pace, focus on the task. Here's an I in the exact same scenario, y'all. Exact same scenario. The I push the button 1 time. And the only reason that the I push the button 1 time is because there's a lot of people standing around waiting on this elevator, and they are getting to know everybody. They have never met a stranger in their life. They have got their iPhone open to the photo section, showing pictures, folks pictures from the weekend, introducing them to their children, and the elevator finally opens. I gets on board. They see some poor soul running late, running down the corridor. The high I personality is going to reach over and hold the door. There is always room for one more at this party when there's an I involved. So here's an S approaching the exact same scenario, Michelle, in a much different fashion. They walk up to the elevator. They push the button very patiently 1 time. Well, the elevator is still running slow, so they patiently wait until the elevator arrives. When it does, the S is going to make sure that everyone can get on the elevator safely. And if there's room left, then they will get on the elevator. If not, they patiently wait for the next elevator. And here's a C personality approaching the exact same thing. They walk up to the elevator, y'all. They push the button 1 time. That's all the manual says is required. They have read the manual. The elevator finally opens. That C gets on board the elevator. The first thing that they do, y'all, is they look for that little box, a little plaque card. It says maximum capacity, 3,000 pounds. Maximum number of people, 10. They start doing a head count and a weight estimation. If this thing is overloaded, the C is going to ask somebody to get off. So you see that those are 4 different, completely different perspectives of the exact same thing, y'all. It is not necessary for you to make other people wrong in order for you to be right. So I got to hurry up here, y'all. Brittany, man, I wish I had more time with y'all. I'm really enjoying this. But let me say this real quick. If whichever one that you see as the most like you, the one that is at the diagonal from the one that is the most like you is the one that is the least like you, because they have nothing in common. I'm going to say that again because I'm going to say something real important here. I want y'all to get it, Kimberly. The one that you see as your strength, I want you to look at the one to the diagonal to where your strength is. So if I'm a D, S is at my diagonal. If I'm a C, I is at my diagonal. The one that is at your diagonal is the one that is the least like you. So I want to say this just for fun, y'all, and then I'm going to move on. I wish I had more time. Wish I had more time with you, Kovia. But I'm going to submit that those of y'all that are in a significant relationship with another human being, they sit at your diagonal. So your significant other sits at your diagonal. And if I have more time with y'all, I would really like to play with that. I got to kind of move on here a little bit. So here we go. So let's go back. So in the book that I wrote, Change Your Mind, Change Your World, it talks about whether or not you are a flag or you're the wind. I just got to go here and just kind of move on. You never want to be the flag. So look at the attributes of the flag in the context of this conversation. It is passive. It is waiting for direction. The biggest energy in any environment is going to determine which way the flag is blowing. So you never want to be the flag in your sales presentations, in overcoming objections, in being in a relationship with another human being. You always want to be the win, not a hurricane force win. Because if you're a D and you're stuck in that D quadrant all the time, a strength overused becomes a weakness. You will do more damage if you are occupying one of those quadrants all the time. I don't care if you're a D, I, S, or C. There is never going to come a time that being in that quadrant 100% of the time, 86,400 seconds of every day, is going to be the answer. It's not true. It means in order for me to be the win, I know what my outcome is. And if the outcome requires me to be a D, I can choose to be a D. If the outcome requires me to be an I can be an I. I am the win all the time. If the outcome requires me to be an S, I can be an S. If the outcome requires me to be a C, I will be a C, because I am the win. I am never going to be the flag. And God knows I wish I had more time to spend on that one. But I got to move on, y'all. So again, I want y'all to realize that there are very few facts in the world, but a tremendous amount of interpretations. Unfortunately, the way that we choose to be in relationships is we treat our interpretation of the facts as if they are the facts, which means that we ultimately are creating conflict as we are defending our map by right fighting, R-I-G-H-T, right fighting with the people in our lives to prove that our map is the correct approach. So I would tell you right now, if you find that you've been managing your relationships based on your map and right fighting to defend that map, listening with the intent to defend, I got some great coaching for you that's going to change everything, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Yeah, stop it. Stop it. So I want to prove to you real quickly before we close this out that you are not always aware of everything that is going on in your environment because of the perspective that you are looking at it. And if you continue to look at it from that perspective, you will always see what you see. So I'm going to put up a slide here in a moment. It's going to be a little reading. I want you to read the statement that appears up here in a second. And while reading it, Connie, I want you to count the number of F's, F as in Frank, that you see in the statement. Once you have your number, I want you to type it in the chat. So again, I'm going to put up the slide. I want you to read it. I want you to count the number of F's, F as in Frank, that are in the statement. And then I want you to put your number in the chat. So here we go. No worries. All right, so type your number. Okay, so we see some people saw 4, some saw 3. Got a couple people saw 6, got a 5. Rebecca, Rhonda saw 6. Jonathan 4, Joseph 5. Okay. So I want y'all to recognize something, and I know you're already aware of this, Danny, but let me say this out loud. Y'all were just reading the exact same thing. It is interesting that we came up with so many different answers to all of y'all reading the exact same thing. So here's what I want to make you aware of, Misty. There are 6 F's in the statement. I want you to see all 6 of them before we move off of that. Those of y'all that only saw 3, I want you to count the word of. I really want everybody to see all 6 of them. So take a moment to read it again and find all 6 of them, Julia. If you only saw 3, count the word of. Oh my God, Abigail. Yeah. And so that's called reactive listening, when we see something, but we only see what we see. We don't necessarily see everything that's there. So that there is other areas of your life that you're doing that, and I wish I had more time to prove it to you, but I want you to at least consider that there are other areas in your life, personally and professionally, where there is a parallel where you're also doing that. Absolutely also doing that. And I want to do one more little listening test with y'all really quickly, just so you can see that your map's not the whole territory. So if you get stuck on listening with the intent to defend, you are missing the opportunity to learn and to grow. So I'm going to ask 2 statements. Both of them will require you to put in a number. If you do anything other than a number, you overthought the question. Okay, so here's the first question. My neighbor just bought an expensive car. How much did it cost? Type in your number. How much did the car cost? My neighbor just bought an expensive car. How much did it cost? Come on, type in your number. Come on, Kelly. Sheila. Come on, Amy. I only got a few minutes left now, y'all. Y'all come on, work with me. Come on. My neighbor just bought an expensive car. How much did it cost? Okay, so we got 100,000. We got 60,000. Got 25,000. 200,000. 3,500. 55K, 129. Okay, so let me make my point real quickly here, y'all. I don't have a lot of time left. Every last one of y'all just spoke your truth. You got to hear me now. You got to be aware that your truth is not the truth. It is just your truth. And if you are listening with the intent to defend and you're defending your truth, that means that you are focused on making others wrong so that you get to be right. There was a very ambiguous word in the statement that I made that allowed you to speak your truth. That word was expensive. So every one of y'all have a different perspective, Sheila, of expensive. And that is your truth that you just typed in, Sean, and you're speaking your truth. But the awareness has to be in this present moment, y'all, as you are doing your sales, as you're communicating with people, that your truth is not the truth. So you have got to listen with the intent to be influenced, because it is their truth that is absolutely going to matter when it comes to the outcomes that you set and the successes that you have. So you've got to learn how to be with people and be in the moment with them. Put that cell phone down. Stop that internal conversation that you're having with yourself and be present with them, and absolutely give them 100% of you as you go for your sweet fruit. The one thing that I know in the context of what y'all do every day is that you can create a win-win in every one of those situations by being present with these people, by delivering what they need, and absolutely benefiting yourself in the context of that as well. So I know we had a little bit more to go here, but I absolutely don't have the time. So we're going to skip all the way down to the Q&A portion, and make sure that I'm being a good custodian of y'all's time, and making sure that we can add value here. So if anybody has any questions at all, you can ask them now. If you don't get your question in, 832-489-2936. Send me a text or call me. Let's talk. But I want to be able to help you be more successful. I want at the end of June for every last one of y'all to say, that is the best month that I had. And it was absolutely because of that presentation that Mike Jones in Discover Leadership Training put out there that opened my eyes to new possibilities to go for that sweet fruit, baby. So whatever we can do to help you, absolutely want to be there as a member of your team to help you through this process.
Mike Jones, Discover leadership training. God, what a perfect blessing at this moment in time for the company. And Mike, I took your advice. I'm getting out of those skinny branches. We got some questions coming your way, my friend. Let's see what the first question is. I'll read it. You'll answer, and we're going to win June.
Thanks, 82.
Who is it?
Brian Casey, how do we train ourselves to see better, i.e., all the F's?
Yeah. So Brian, the first awareness comes. I recognize his name too, Brian Casey. The first awareness, Brian, is I have to have an awareness, which you now have, that I'm not seeing everything that's there. So with that awareness, if I set an outcome, this is so important. If I set an outcome, then I am going to immediately increase my periphery because I am now looking for the opportunity. I am not settling in on what's already on my map. There's something that I could talk about. And man, if I had more time, I could go deep on this one. It's called the RAS, the reticular activating system. It's something that we all possess in our physiology. When I set an outcome, the way the RAS works is it increases my visibility to the thing that I have deemed important. So a good example real quickly, Brian, if you go to the Ford dealership and you buy a red Ford F-150, as soon as you hit the highway, everything that you see out there are red Ford F-150s. It's not because everybody went and bought one when you went and bought one. They were always there, but you see them now because you deemed it important, and your RAS is now turned on, the light on every last one of them that exists in the universe.
Next question. When things aren't going so well at home, how do you put that aside to be more productive or the most productive at work?
Yeah. So, my answer to that and the people that I coach every day, David, is an understanding that when I am in an environment, when I am with people, whoever I'm with, whatever circumstances are going on in my life, they are going to still be going on no matter whatever else is going on in the moment. However, I have got to learn how to be more present where I am so that I don't allow all of the noise outside of where I am to affect where I am. So I'm building a relationship with Josh. In order for us to get to optimal, I've got to be with Josh. If I'm bringing stuff in from the outside, we're going to end up with sum total, SUMTOTAL. We're not going to get to optimal. So in order for me to be with Josh, I've got to shut all of the noise off from the outside and go be with that when I'm with that. And when I'm not with that, I'm going to be where my feet are. I'm going to be where I am.
This is the whole team at Victory Memorial. I want to see their truth. But when the other party doesn't try to see yours, it creates a brick wall, and that negativity creeps in. We would love to hear your thoughts on battling that.
Yeah, you know what? That is a very common question in the context of what we do. So here's what you got to know, y'all. In order for Victory Memorial to create a high performance team, one of the things that we have got to agree on is that we have got to have confrontation in this facility. What I mean by that, we're going to set specific outcomes. We are going to give each other permission to hold each other accountable for those specific outcomes. When I am receiving feed forward from the members of my team, you may have noticed that I didn't say feedback. Anytime you walk in the room and say feedback, people are always listening through a negative prism. When you are giving them feed forward on how they can improve, how they can get better, then they're going to hear you differently. And when we know that this is not personal, that we are focused on an outcome that we all agree to, which is the key, y'all. If they agree to it, then they're also agreeing to be held accountable to what we said that we're going to do. We're going to be more successful. We're going to speed up the transaction when we have all agreed upon a specific outcome and have agreed that we're going to give each other feed forward on how to best get there.
Jason Fleming, what are the best ways to overcome objections?
You know, Jason, one thing that I know after working with SCI for a long time, that there are some specific objections that y'all are dealing with more common, that there have been a whole lot of people that have successfully worked through them that may be able to give you some spot on coaching regarding that. But if it's just me and you talking, Jason, what I'm going to say to you is, as long as I am focused on the outcome, I do not need to know previous answers to how people got past those outcomes. If I stay focused on the outcome and I'm committed to that outcome, I am going to continually choose to change my approach to get to my results. The thing that may get me past the objection with that person may not work with anybody else. However, if I'm truly present with that person and I stay focused on outcome and I'm continually changing my approach, I am going to have greater success, even though I know that when I say that to people that I'm just having first time touch points with, they have a hard time getting their arm around it. But I'm telling you, in the 33 years that I've been doing this, Jason, I've seen how successful this can be when we truly learn how to be in the moment with people. They're generally going to tell you everything that they need in order for you to get past their objections.
That's all the time we have for questions. I have to thank you, Mike. You are a brave man giving your phone number out to a couple hundred of us today. And we're going to be calling you. I promise you, I'm playing like a rookie. I'm getting out on a skinny branch, and I'm going to be texting you, and we're going to win June. And we're going to dedicate this month to you, my brother.
Let's go.
Let's go. Thanks, everyone. June is so important. We are off to an amazing start, and we're going to see everyone in the winner's circle. Let's take the advice we heard today and put it into practice right now. Happy selling, happy prospecting.
Commotion.